Distance Learning with Miss Sorensen.
Hello, kindergarten friends. Welcome to another day of I Know My Nation. Of course, we know we're actually talking about our city. We've talked about our nation. We've talked about our state. We've talked about now our city. So what is our city again? That's right. I Know My City of Seattle, Part 2. You've already seen all of us one time for learning about our city, but there's so much to learn. So we're doing a whole nother rotation. Mr. Gallagher will be ending I Know My City of Seattle next week, and that will be the end of I Know My Nation. Oh my goodness, we've learned so much together this year. You know, before we begin, I wanted to say a quick hello to 102 friends. Hello, 103 friends. Good morning or good afternoon. Hello, 104 friends. Great to see you. And hello to 171 friends. Glad you can make it. Okay, so I have borrowed Miss Comfer's book. If you notice at the top, it says Miss Comfer. She let me borrow it so I could see what you all did with her last week. So we're gonna be needing this today. We're definitely gonna need our scissors, our glue, and our pencils today. We're gonna do some more tracing and writing and gluing. And before we do any of that though, I have a little story to share with you. It is one of my favorite books, and you know, it's called 10 Little Monsters Visit Washington. Wait, we're talking about Seattle though. That's okay. There's gonna be lots of things that are either in Seattle or remind us of Seattle. So we're gonna do some reading and thinking about what are some things we see in Seattle and what are some things that we might see all over Washington that our little monsters see in our story. 10 Little Monsters Visit Washington by Rick Walton and illustrated by Jess Smart Smiley. What a great name, Jess Smart Smiley. 10 Little Monsters Visit Washington. Ooh, I like it. Hello, Washington. Hello. We live in Washington. Greetings from Washington. I like that little postcard. Ooh, I'm seeing our monster friends. They're coming for a visit. 10 little monsters looking for fun. Take a trip to Washington. 10 little monsters, they can't wait, 'cause monsters love the Evergreen State. That's our nickname, the Evergreen State. 10 little monsters from park to park travel the trail of Lewis and Clark. One monster says when they reach the sea, I'll see what's next. How far can it be? The Lewis and Clark Trail runs for 3,700 miles from Illinois to the mouth of the Columbia River. Follow the signs and you won't end up in the middle of the ocean. I don't know. I bet these monsters are not really following directions. Do you think they're following the signs, following directions? I don't know. They look like a crazy bunch. 9 little monsters loaded with gear start to hike up Mount Rainier. They climb and they climb till they reach the top, but one of the monsters forgets to stop. Oh, he just keeps going. Ooh, raise your hand if you have seen Mount Rainier from Seattle before. Yeah, on beautiful sunny days, we can see this mountain right from Seattle. We might not be able to stand on it from Seattle, but we sure can see it from Seattle. Our book says Mount Rainier is a volcano and the highest mountain in Washington. Thousands of people climb it every year. Most of them are smarter than monsters and stop when they reach the top. I would hope so. 8 little monsters, just for fun, join the salmon on a run. They swim up the river, they leap through the air, till one is caught by a big brown bear. Oh my goodness. This one is not looking too hot. I think he's gonna be dinner for this big brown bear. Do we see salmon in Seattle? Of course we can see salmon in Seattle. Maybe some of you have been to the Ballard Locks. Those are very close to Bryant Elementary School. And you can see salmon going up the salmon ladder. Very cool. 7 little monsters find some ice. It's cold. Feels nice. Someone says, that one there. One little monster flies through the air. Pike Place Market is a huge public market where you can buy almost anything. If you want a fish, an employee will toss it to the center for you to buy. Don't, however, expect an appliance store to toss the refrigerator of your choice. I hope it's just salmon. I don't even know if I'd want them to toss a monster at me. I would just say, just toss the salmon. That's all I want, please. Or maybe some crab legs. Raise your hand if you've been to Pike Place Market. That's in Seattle. That's right where we live. Hey, wait a second. I recognize this giant building. The Space Needle. Right. Let's read. 6 little monsters, ah and ooh. One monster wants a better view. That little monster climbs up higher. Zap! One monster catches fire. Do you think you're supposed to climb to the top of the Space Needle like that? No, that is not safe. These little monsters are being kind of troublesome in our city and our state. I don't know. This says 1.3 million people visit the observation deck of the 605-foot tall Seattle Space Needle, which was built for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair. The smart visitors use the elevators instead of climbing up to the top. These monsters. Have you noticed a numeral pattern? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. What do you think is going to be the next page? Let's see. Were you right? Yeah, 5. 5 little monsters can't stay dry with all the rain clouds in the sky. Happy monsters dance in the rain. Uh-oh, there goes a monster down the drain. Do we see rain in Seattle? Yeah, right. We see lots of rain in Seattle. It was kind of rainy this morning when I was outside. Rain falls in Western Washington over 150 days a year. That's a total of about 40 inches of rain, which is a lot, but not enough to wash you down a drain, unless you are a leaf or a monster, I guess. What do you think the next numeral is going to be? 4 little monsters off to San Juan find the ferry and get right on. One little monster makes a mistake. One poor whale gets a belly ache. Where does it look like that monster is headed right into? I don't think he's paying attention because, he's about to get eaten by this big whale. That whale got a bellyache. Now, it says they're going to San Juan Islands, but where can you catch the ferry to San Juan Islands? In Seattle, you got it. Ooh, the Washington Ferry carries 22 million passengers a year. Traveling by ferry is much more comfortable than traveling by whale. Yeah, I hope he spit out that monster friend because he is not going to feel good. Ooh, I'm seeing the Space Needle in the background. And Mount Rainier. 3 little monsters say they hear a long-lost relative lives very near. Hey, they call, where are you at? Till a Bigfoot falls and squashes one flat. Ooh, raise your hand if you've heard of Bigfoot before. Yeah, the little monsters are saying they might be related. He says, a long-lost relative, but he just got squished flat. That's not a very nice relative. It says, many people claim to have seen Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but no one has yet proved that he exists. If you want to visit long-lost relatives, you should first make sure they exist. That's important. And you should call them and tell them you're coming so they don't accidentally step on you. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be stepped on. Okay, we're at 3. What's going to be next? 2. 2 little monsters at Grand Coulee learn how to make electricity. One wants to see where the power goes. Ooh, Grand Coulee Dam. This isn't Seattle, but it is very close. Let's see, where does the power go? Oh, how bright the monster glows. The Grand Coulee Dam gives us lots of power that we get in Seattle. So it is a kind of a part of Seattle because we get a lot of electricity from the Grand Coulee Dam. And our little friend here just lit up in the light bulb with all that electricity. It says the Grand Coulee Dam produces enough power to run 2.3 million homes. It's better for you to have power than for the power to have you. Silly monster. Okay, 2, and now 1. Our one little monster. Looks like he might be running around in the forest. Do we see lots of trees and forests in Seattle? Yeah, there's trees right outside the window at Bryant. One little monster asleep in a tree with apples as far as the eye can see. Along comes a young boy looking for lunch. He reaches, he picks, he takes a big bite, and crunch! Uh-oh. How do you think the monster's feeling about that? He's like, no, don't eat me, I'm just a little monster trying to take a nap. Ah! Yeah, probably not too excited. It says about 3 of every 5 apples grown in the United States are grown in Washington. All monsters are removed before Washington apples are shipped to your local store. If that makes sense. I don't know if I'd want to be eating a monster. All of a sudden I think I'm eating an apple and then there's a face on my apple. I think I'm good. I'm good. Yep. I think I'm good. But I do love apples. Raise your hand if you have eaten an apple before. Yeah, a lot of the apples around Washington get shipped to Seattle so that we can eat them for our snack, for our breakfast, for our lunch, for our dinner, whenever we want to eat our apples. The end. 10 little monsters. They're not looking so hot after being eaten by whales, getting zapped by lightning, flying off a mountain, going down the drain. I think they had a very exciting visit. I don't know how quickly they want to come back to Washington, though. You know, if they would have just followed directions and not gone into a whale's mouth or flown off a Mount Rainier or gotten zapped on top of the Space Needle, if they had followed the directions, do you think they would have had a lot better time? I think so. We know how to follow directions. We know not to climb on top of the Space Needle or just fly off the end of Mount Rainier or go down the drain or turn into an apple. Ooh, I don't want to be eaten. No, thank you. So that was our story. We are now going to move into our I Know My City of Seattle, Part 2. We are going to turn in our page. I know you did this, I think with Mr. Jones you did this page. You did this with Miss Comfort last week. We're going to turn to this map page on page 3. And we're going to do some looking and some sound spellings, some things that we like about Seattle. So I'm going to move on over to my projector and we are going to talk about some things that we like and can see in Seattle. Okay, so remember I have my Miss Comfort book and I have some scissors because I'm going to be doing some cutting in just a little bit. I have my pencil, that's always important to have ready to go. And my glue. Those are my tools that I am going to use. I'm going to scoot those over, make sure you can see them. There we go. So we are going to first need to turn to our page. So I'm going to turn. Ah, yes. There's the work we did with Mr. Jones, Miss Comfort. We're going to do some more tracing and writing today. And if I can turn the page, maybe. Ah, here we go. This is where we are going to start. I'm gonna put my scissors and my glue off to the side. I don't need those quite yet, but I do need my pencil. So the first thing we're gonna look at is our map right here. And I can see that you have already written down 2 words, Space Needle and hike. So if I look at this picture, I'm seeing lots of things in the Seattle, Washington map that I recognize and know. Ooh, and these are things we are writing on this page. I like these things about Seattle. So if you wrote down more than Miss Comfort did last time, you're gonna start wherever you ended. I'm gonna start at number 3 because that's where she ended. And then I'll do a few with you. Ooh, I am seeing so many. Ooh, I see T-Mobile Park. You know, I am a big fan of baseball, and I still say Safeco Field because that's what I grew up watching baseball, was at Safeco Field. So I like that she added T-Mobile Park, but I do like Safeco Field a lot. So maybe we could write about that. Oh, I recognize this. Does anybody know what this big important place is that's kind of gross? I'm just saying. But many people around the world know this place. Yeah, the gum wall. Ew. Can you imagine how many people have chewed gum and put gum on the wall? But a lot of people around the world know us because of our gum wall. Ooh, you know what? I think that's going to be my first. Ready? Gum wall. Okay. Ooh, and I also see the words are already written on my page. G-U-M. So I'm going to start with gum. G-U-M. Sorry if you could not see that. Gum, and then I'm gonna add a little space, gum, and then I see, oh, wall, W-A-L-L, wall. Gum, space, wall. Okay, I've added gum wall. What are some other things that you're noticing on this page? I see some important places, but I also see some really cool things that we can do. I know Miss Comfort wrote about this word right here, Ike. I know that that I is saying its name because I can see the E. It's helping that I say its name. So I have hike, but there's a type of transportation I am seeing on this map that rhymes with Ike. It's part of the Ike word family. It has 2 wheels. Yeah, bike. I-K. Right, same last 3 letters as hike. Hike and bike. Ooh. What are some other things? You know, I have to add baseball because I just love baseball so much. You could add sports, or you could add football. You could add Seahawks. You could add the Sounders. You could add the Kraken, the new hockey team. I think I'm going to add Mariners just because I love baseball so much. I just went to the game the other week. I am going to show you how to spell the word Mariners. And now, Mariners is the name of a sports team. We've been talking a little bit in my class about the proper nouns. Now, proper nouns are nouns, but they're the name of nouns. So, a baseball field is a noun. A baseball field is a person, place, thing, animal, idea. It's a place, a baseball field. But the name of the baseball field that I'm talking about is Mariners, the Mariners baseball field. That's their name, the proper noun, Mariners. And when we have a proper noun, we always start with an uppercase letter. Just like our name always starts with an uppercase letter because it's a proper noun. It's the name of something or someone. So I'm going to write Mariners, and I am going to start with an uppercase M. I'm going to show you how to spell the word Mariners. If you would like, you can copy mine, or you could write Seahawks, you could write Kraken. Mariners. Mariners. Okay, I'm going to end there because I want to give you a chance to look at our map some more and to think of some different things that you like about Seattle. So go ahead and you can pause the video now, or you can do that at the end of the video later. That's up to you. Let's turn the page. Okay, we're gonna skip this page because you are gonna be doing this with Mr. Gallagher and Mr. Silberman, but we are gonna move over to this page for some cutting and gluing. You can pull this off gently, pulling it off from your staple. There we go. I'm gonna put my staple off to the side so that it does not poke me. Okay, staple off to the side. Now, same thing you did with Miss Comfer last week, but now we're gonna look at some transportation around Seattle. Let's look back. Miss Comfer, the things that you did with Miss Comfer were places that you see in Seattle. Now we're gonna think about transportation in Seattle. Does anybody recognize this kind of transportation? Right, this is the bus. Are we seeing bus and one of our 4 written words right here? Yeah, let's do some things out of order today. Let's start. I see, it doesn't say bus. Bus. Metro bus. Let's start with that one since that's our first picture. So we're tracing in pencil. And somebody's beeping in the background. That might be the garbage truck. Metro bus. Tracing. Writing. Metro bus. Now, I would like you to raise your hand if you have been on the Metro bus before. So many people. That is a great way to transport yourself from one place to another in Seattle. And it's also very good for our environment because the bus has lots and lots of people who could be taking cars, but they're actually taking the bus all together. So that's like taking one car with a bunch of people, and that's helping our air quality, our environment. So now I am cutting out my Metro bus. Cutting out my bus. Cutting out my bus. Cutting out my bus. Maybe. There we go. Cutting out our bus. Okay. And I'm gonna put this off to the side and I'm gonna do some gluing. I'm gonna start with my, I'm gonna do blue today. Do my rectangle with my X, so I know exactly where to glue. Now I've got my glue stick and I'm not going too far. I'm just going a little bit. Okay, glue, glue, glue. Now I'm going to, oh, I almost put it on the light rail. Oops. No, I want to put it on the bus. There we go. Remember, we're putting it on top of the words that were already there so we can see our beautiful writing. I'm pressing for 10 seconds. I'm counting to 10 in my head. And then we'll do the next one. Okay. Next picture. Ooh, does anybody recognize this? Yeah, it's like the bus, but it's on tracks. Yeah, it's like a mini train. It's the Link light rail. You can see here, light rail. So what we are going to do is trace and write. Light rail. Tracing, writing. The light rail is getting longer and longer. They have been working very hard on adding more tracks so that the light rail can go to places like Everett and Bellevue, Northgate. So the light rail just keeps getting longer and longer. They're almost done with the train station that's right by my place. I can see it through my window of my apartment. And it's the one by UW. So I'm very excited for them to finish up with that one so I can use it. Okay, I'm now cutting out my light rail. The next two, I'm gonna have you either pause the video and do now or do later, because I don't want to take up too much of your time showing you how to trace and write and cut and glue, because I know you know how to do that already. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to now add my blue rectangle and X. There we go. Now I know exactly where to glue at. Okay, so now I have my glue. I'm gonna add it to my light rail. Just like that. I'm gonna press it for 10 seconds. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I've done the light rail, I've done the Metro bus. We're gonna talk about these next two, but I'm gonna have you cut and glue them on your own because I know you can do it because we've had lots of practice. So the first one, we look at our two pictures. Does anybody know what this word is? No. Tunnel. Right. Do we see a picture right here that looks like a tunnel? Yeah, this one kind of looks like a bridge in the background. I recognize that bridge. This one, that one looks like a tunnel. Do you think that one looks like a tunnel? Yeah, I agree. I think this would be our tunnel. So of course, after you trace and write, you know what to do. Our next one and our last one, does this give you a clue just looking at our picture what this transportation might be? Yeah, what is this person writing? A bike, right? Okay, I see that word bike. We wrote that on our last page, bike. Bike path. Bike path. A bike path is a form of transportation. We use that to get from one place to the other. There's kind of two transportations. There's the bike that we use and the bike path that we drive on. Cool. So tracing and writing both of these words, cutting and gluing on top of the already printed words. You can either pause the video now and do that right now, or you can wait until the end to do that later. Next page. We are going to skip. Next page. We're going to stop on. I am super excited because until now, I did not even know that there was a Seattle song. I didn't even know. All of a sudden I heard Mr. Jones and Mr. Gallagher singing this song one day and I was like, what are you singing? And they told me it's our own Seattle song. So we're gonna listen to it, I'm gonna play it. And we are gonna, you talked about this part with Mr. Jones. You talked about this part with Miss Comfer. We are gonna talk about this part and do some underlining of kindergarten and first grade words. Because I see a lot of kindergarten words and I see a lot of first grade words. But I don't see any purple punctuation, so we don't have much purple punctuation to do. But we are going to do those kindergarten and first grade words. So first, let's just read through the words so we know exactly what we're looking for when we listen to the song. Full of hopes. We know that word. And full of fears. Full of laughter, full of tears. I see a lot of this word right here. Full, 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 full. And I see a lot of this word right here. What is that word again? Of. That's a first grade word. We have a lot to underline. Go ahead and take out a red marker or crayon. and a orange marker or crayon because we have some kindergarten words and some first grade orange words. I'm going to start out with that one kindergarten word. Can anybody find it? Right in the first line, underlining that and word. And. Next one is our first grade word. Do you remember which one I said? You got it. Of. Of. Is that it? No, there's a lot of them, Miss Sorensen. Of. Is that it? No. Is that it? No. There we go. Okay, we've underlined our kindergarten and first grade words. Full of hopes and full of fears. Full of laughter, full of tears. Okay, so now I'm going to stop my projector because I'm going to show you the screen. There we go. Okay, projector is stopped. Okay, so I'm going to show you the words as we're listening to the song, and we're going to stop right here because Mr. Gallagher and Mr. Silverman are going to sing this last part with you next week. And I'm going to point to the words, and then I'll point to us when it's our turn. We might have to do it again. We'll see. Bluest skies you've ever seen in Seattle, and the hills the greenest green in Seattle. Like a beautiful child growing up free and wild. Here it is, hopes and full of fears, full of laughter, full of tears. That was awesome. Let's try it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Here we go. Ready? Starting at the beginning. I'll point you in when it's our turn. But if you know the song already, you can sing along. Here we go. The bluest skies you've ever seen in Seattle, and the hills are greenest green in Seattle. Like a beautiful child growing up free and wild. Here we go. Hopes and full of fears, full of laughter, full of tears. Well, we know the next word is full. How fun is that? We had that kind of cool part. Do, 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 do. Now that's going to be stuck in my head all day. Well, with that, my friends, I think that's a great way to end our time together for I Know My City of Seattle. I have had such a wonderful time learning about our nation, about our state, and about our city with you. And this is my last time teaching I Know My Nation with you this year. But it has been a privilege working with you and learning about all these important things about where we live together. Okay, kindergartners, almost first graders, have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll see you next week to end My World and I in Oceania. Bye, everyone. See you later.